This former president.
To start off the debate, we had Kamala Harris walking right across the stage, right up to Trump and shaking his hand. And I love that. That was like that surprised me. I did not see that coming. That showed confidence. That showed a strident attitude that I did not see her having or doing. And I think that's really set the tone. I think that was an excellent move by her. A lot of pressure on Kamala. Not as much pressure on Trump because Trump's been in the public eye for decades now. People know who Trump is. Trump's been around. He's had multiple debates through Republican primaries and 2016 presidential election against Hillary, 2020 against Biden. This was really more about Kamala. Who is she? How is she going to perform?
Who even are you?
With the pressure that her and her campaign is under to really prove to the American people whether or not she can meet the moment. I got to say, the beginning of the debate, they started off on the economy. And this is a tricky spot for Kamala because she can't quite distance herself from the Biden administration, of course, because she's vice president, but she wants to also signal to the American people that her administration is going to be better. So it's a very tricky spot. I don't think she has handled it great. I will say this first section of the debate on the economy, I think Trump handled better. It played to his strengths. Trump, of course, is an attack dog. That's when he's his best, when he's on the attack. And that's where his wheelhouse is. And he definitely went after her on the economy, on the high prices of living, the high prices of homes and things like that. I will say, I think a huge mistake the Harris campaign has made, and Kamala did not do it again. They need to point out what we all know, that COVID is what crashed the economy. Okay. So they really need to emphasize that it's not just America that's had high prices. It's not just America that has had a faltering economy through these past few years. It's the entire world. The entire world has been affected by this through the supply chains, and we all know this, the supply chains and the delivery industries and energy, and all of it's all interconnected, right? So I think it's a huge mistake that the Harris campaign, and that she didn't do it tonight, is she really should have emphasized that the entire world has gone through this downturn, and here's the important part, and that America is the fastest recovering country in the world, that we have recovered faster than every other country that has been affected by COVID. I think it's a missed opportunity. I think that's something that she should really hammer the point that, yes, it's been tough, but things have been slowly getting better, and we've recovered faster than the rest of the world. But yeah, I do have to give it to Trump in this section. The first part of the debate, I do believe that he came out swinging, and I think that she was a little tentative. The economy part wasn't as strong for her. When they get to abortion, I think Kamala definitely hammered Trump on abortion, whether it was the personal stories of citizens that have to cross state lines, or the different terrible circumstances where people need abortion and they can't get it. I think she did a really good job at hammering home the consequences of Trump's decision to put those particular justices on the Supreme Court that has led to the overturn of Roe v. Wade. So I think that was a definitely very strong section of the debate. Definitely point goes to her. So yeah, I would say the first part, Trump probably wins the first part with the economy, which is massive, very important, of course, affects everybody. And then Kamala definitely, I think, did outperform him on the abortion. Did ask Kamala about the fracking. I think this is another bad strategy that she has, where she just pretends she has positions as if she's always had them, even though you can see past statements or votes or whatnot where she may have voted the complete opposite way. I think her methodology is wrong here. I think the strategy should be, I've been vice president for 4 years. I've grown in that role. I've been able to learn and see more. And through my experiences, my views have evolved. My values remain the same, and I still have those intentions and values, but I do see the intricate logistics of our economy and how certain industries still need to be supported. Something like that. I feel like Americans understand that. Americans are, I feel like we handle that better. Just say, oh, I got new data, I changed my mind, rather than, oh, I always felt that way. Well, people know if you didn't, and to be fair, Trump does this too. So let's not like Trump. There is kind of a double standard here, because I know MAGA likes to go after Kamala for this. Trump has routinely done this, where he will take one position and then the next week he will take the opposite position, and he will give no explanation for the reason. So Trump, of course, went into his usual 2020 election was stolen talking points, and I don't think that helps him even one iota. His crowd is going to love it, but that, if anything, is going to turn off independents and people on the fence and moderates, and it's a losing strategy. So the more he wants to do that, go ahead, but that's not a good decision. But he's going to do what he wants to do. About the Ukraine-Russia war, they asked Donald Trump, do you want Ukraine to win? And he didn't answer. He did not give an answer to that. He said he just wants the war to end, which, okay, fair enough. But, and again, I understand the nuance there if you want to be specific about it, right? But optically, it looks terrible, especially with all the accusations that he cozies up to Putin and Russia, and that all the accusations that, J.D. Vance has talked about how they want to stop aid to Ukraine, and RFK Jr. has talked about how they want to stop aid to Ukraine, and Trump himself has said they want to stop aid to Ukraine, and then he doesn't say he wants Ukraine to win. So, I mean, it seems kind of obvious to me that
Russia,
they don't seem to be the most supportive of Ukraine's efforts against Russia. This kind of leads into Kamala's a really strong segment of the debate for her was when she's talking about Ukraine. I thought it was very strong. It was very clear. She talked about how we stand with our allies. We stand for democracy. We support Ukraine and their efforts.
How quickly you would give up for the sake of favor and what you think is a friendship with what is known to be a dictator who would eat you for lunch.
The Afghanistan segment was a little mixed for both sides. I don't think Kamala did as great on that segment at all, because she tried to hit him on the fact that he did let out 5,000 Taliban, which is a point that I think should be made over and over and over, that Trump released 5,000 Taliban. And I have no doubt in my mind that if Biden had released 5,000 Taliban, you would never hear the end of it, and justifiably so. So from the right, so that's just another, classic political double standard. It's not exactly fair to put it all on one. I'm not dismissing Biden's blame. Biden, they deserve blame for their part in it, but so does Trump. I think that there is blame to go around both sides. That segment was a little bit of a wash, I think, for both sides. Kamala did hit him on manufacturing jobs. That was a good point. It is true. The statistics do back up what she said. It's another thing, though. It's a little dishonest in the way it's employed, because it's true that under Trump, he did lose all these manufacturing jobs, just like when they hit him on the unemployment rate and the state of the economy when he left office. All of that is true. The economy was very bad. Job loss was very bad. I don't think it's quite fair, though, because it was COVID. So I don't really love it. I get it. Politically speaking, it works, right? You make the case that, hey, this is what it looked like, and that's true. It did. But it's not entirely fair. In the same way, I don't like Biden getting blamed for everything with getting out of COVID, these last 4 years. I think he gets a lot of blame for the recovery. On the flip side, I also don't like that Trump gets the blame for the crashed economy with COVID at the end of his term, because it's not really his fault either. So it's not the statistics are true. The manufacturing did drop, and it has gone up, and even more so under Biden. So Biden actually has increased it more than Trump, where Trump was at, rather. But it's a little disingenuous, with immigration. It's another tricky area. I actually think they both hit each other pretty hard on it. It's a fair point to ask Kamala why the administration has not been more aggressive to address immigration. And yet it's also fair for Kamala to go back at Trump and say that he fought against the most comprehensive immigration reform bill that they had on the table just this past year. But for the voters that do know that Trump actively campaigned to kill the immigration bill, that does hurt him a little bit, for sure. But again, on the flip side, people will ask, well, why did the Biden administration wait so long? And that hurts Kamala. So that one's a little give and take there. The edge would probably go to Trump on that because it's a very emotional issue. So I think really thinking about the debate in a few aspects, I think Trump did score points against Kamala on the economy. I think that he scored some points against her on immigration. Ukraine, I think Kamala absolutely shown the strongest in abortion, in Ukraine, and standing strong with our allies and supporting democracy worldwide. She absolutely came across as a very strong, capable world leader in those sections. I do believe that will help her quite a bit in the perception of her as president, especially worldwide, because I think she is showing that she can and will be a very effective leader on the world stage. I will say Kamala, I still didn't love how she waffled a bit too much here and there. I still don't love how she does come across at times very much like a politician. So I don't love that. But overall, I would say she was very strong. I think she exceeded expectations. For Trump, I would be a little disappointed only because you wanted to have a couple moments where you got under Kamala's skin. You wanted a couple moments where you really, like a Hillary in 2016 moment.
Awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Secretary Clinton.
Where he, a couple of those moments there that went viral. And I don't think there was really anything like that for Trump towards her. But again, to be fair though, he probably was the best on two of the most important issues to Americans right now, economy and immigration. And those two issues alone, that right there is going to be the sole reason for why a lot of people will vote for Trump. So from their perspective rather. So overall, I got to say that I would give the slight edge in this debate to Kamala because the pressure was so much on her to perform. I think she really came across strong in multiple areas. I think this did a great job at showing how she can be presidential. That's what people want to see. They want to see how can she be presidential. These debates are really more about Kamala than it is Trump because we all know Trump. But man, fun debate. Very, very interesting. Really enjoyed it. And, I'm sure each side's going to have their biases. I have my biases and you have your biases. So, it's just fun to talk about. And it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out. Really hope there's another debate so we can discuss this more. Well, anyways, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening a lot. And y'all take care.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.